This is news on What's Up Caribbean for Friday, March 6, 2015. In the headlines, Suriname abolishes the death penalty. Pan American Life Insurance reports strong performance across the board and believes to decriminalize 10 grams of marijuana. In sports, attempt to row across Atlantic foiled off Barbados by wind. We'll be back with these and other developments after the break.
Turbo charge. Dirty life. Turbo charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord. As I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it on. Don't come and tell me the party done, cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
We begin with news from Suriname, where the National Assembly has approved legislation formally abolishing the death penalty in the Dutch-speaking CARICOM country. But the legislators raised the highest prison term limits from 30 to 50 years in what is seen to be a compromise to amending the criminal code. Parliament also scrapped conditional release for people convicted of capital crimes, convicts doing time for murder, manslaughter, sexual offenses, or major drug crimes are now no longer eligible for release after serving 3/4 of their sentences. The Pan American Life Insurance Group recorded an 8% increase, or US $704 million in revenue for the year ending 2014, and approximately 30% growth in the Caribbean market. The financial results were announced yesterday by Senior Vice President of International Operations, Robert WCN. He spoke during a media briefing at the Accra Beach Hotel in Barbados. Total sales for 2014 closed at $458 million US. He attributes the growth to several factors, among them expansion in some of its operations.
That growth has been a combination of both organic growth and acquisitions. It's also been a combination of both domestic and US growth and international. And although that has changed somewhat in terms of where that contribution comes from. We had, I guess about 2010 or so, we probably had 60% of our business, of our revenues from the U.S. generated in the United States. Today, 2014, that's had a complete change in terms of the contribution. Right now, about 2/3 of our revenue comes from outside of the U.S. It's international business. It doesn't mean we haven't grown in the U.S. It means we've had significant growth internationally. That growth has been has come by a combination of both organic growth, introducing new initiatives, new products, opening up in new countries, and acquisition.
That was Senior Vice President of the Pan American Life Insurance Group, Robert WCN. In Belize, Cabinet and Parliament are soon expected to put their stamp of approval on a set of recommendations presented by the Committee for the Decriminalization of Marijuana, installed back in 2012. This will mean that all persons who have a police record for the possession of 10 grams of marijuana or less will have their criminal record for that conviction expunged, as the law will no longer deem the possession of marijuana for private, personal use to be an offense prosecutable as a crime in that country. However, the public possession of marijuana, even in small amounts of 10 grams or less, would remain illegal, and persons found in possession of it could be issued a fine. The government of Bermuda overspent by almost $23 million across 7 ministries in the 2014-2015 fiscal year. That's according to supplemental estimates tabled in the House of Assembly. The top offender was financial assistance at $5.6 million under the Ministry of Community, Culture and Sport followed by a little more than $4 million incurred by Public Works for Hurricanes Faye and Gonzalo last October. The back-to-back hurricanes also cost national security a fraction more than $1 million for the defense account and $301,000 in fire services. Additionally, there was a $1.8 million overspend listed for a Bermuda Housing Corporation grant for capital development. That's a wrap of news. A look at sports up next. In sports, heavy wind caused an 8-member crew attempting to row across the Atlantic Ocean in record time to fall just short of their goal yesterday as they near the island of Barbados. The 6 men and 2 women blown off course about 2 miles, that's 4 kilometers from the island. They were rescued and towed to shore early Thursday by the Barbados Coast Guard after firing flares. Levin Brown, the crew leader of the 18-foot vessel, the Avalon, said they had no choice but to halt the voyage when the conditions turned against them and needed to be rescued because they had no sail and no engine. The international crew of the Avalon set off from the Canary Islands on January 20th, rowing about 3,250 miles for a voyage dubbed the Atlantic Ocean Trade Winds Expedition. That was a look at sports. A recap of your headlines up next.
Turbocharge. Dirty life. Turbocharge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord. As I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it up. Don't come and tell me the party done, cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
Looking back at the top stories making news, Suriname abolishes the death penalty. Pan American Life Insurance reports strong performance across the board and believes to decriminalize 10 grams of marijuana. In sports, an attempt to row across Atlantic foiled off Barbados by wind. Remember, for the latest in news, sports and other regional developments, log on to whatsapcaribbean.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. On behalf of our production team at Carib Fire and here at WhatsApp Caribbean, here's wishing you a safe, enjoyable and productive weekend. Thanks for joining us.